Hey everyone, it is late at night and I am Norman. It is time once again for some watch news. So I've had this episode scripted out and kicking around for so long that I keep thinking that I've already done it. I have to go through my content just to double check, and I don't see it there. But as you're watching this, if you feel a sense of deja vu, we'll just consider it 2.0. But I'm pretty sure I haven't done this yet. So the first piece that I have, I actually culled from a few different articles. I first encountered it on Rob Report, which is a really impressive blog. But WatchPro also did a couple articles on it, entitled Flipping Hell and Paddock Frustration. So Rob Report interviewed Geoff Hess from Sothsbys, and shortly after that interview, he received a promotion on the heels of the sale of Stallone's Patek Philippe reference 6300G-010 Grandmaster Chime. So Hess is now the global head of watches. In part, Hess had this to say: "We tried to create an auction room experience. There were cocktail tables, a hot dog stand, activation and champagne bottles were popping. The watch world benefits from something other luxury categories don't, and that is an incredible global sense of community. We're going to focus on ensuring our clients not only receive great service, but also on immersing them into our community." And what's interesting about this is Patek Philippe is not happy about this. So the watch sold for $5.4 million, which is the highest going price at Sothsbys for a modern watch. So what is the problem? Well, the problem is that Stallone flipped this watch. He hadn't even removed it from the packaging, all the stickers were on it and everything. And in order to acquire the watch, he wrote letters to Patek Philippe, trying to convince them that he wasn't going to flip it, that he actually loved this watch. He even took to social media and explained how difficult it was to get this watch. He mentioned the letters that he wrote to the brand. And finally, the board gave in and sold him the watch. After the auction, Patek president Thierry Stern voiced his frustration. "Of course, we do not like it, but it can happen. I cannot control everybody. It is not fair for a client that may have been waiting for this piece for many years and then see it being sold." What an absolute jerk move. Every time I see this photo of Stallone, I get irritated. That just sucks. I mean, we're talking about crazy luxury watches here, but there were people waiting in line for this piece, and he just swoops in, buys it, and then sells it for way more. Flippers. Yeah, I'm not a Stallone fan now. I feel like every time I see his face, I'll just get irritated. The next article I have comes to us from Fratello Watches, and this was pretty wild. So I encountered an article on a vintage Bulova watch, and it kind of looked familiar. And they were talking about the interesting feature that this watch has, that you can actually pop the watch out of the case. So the center of the watch, the bezel, and the dial pops out, leaving the lugs and the outer rim of the case. And the more I looked at these photos, the more I realized that this watch, other than the dial, looks exactly like the Bulova that I traded one of you for. Even the back of the watch looks identical. Here's the one that I traded, and here's the one in the article. And as I scrutinized these, I got kind of excited. Like, does my Bulova do this? Because that would be super cool. I mean, even the crown on mine looks like what I was seeing in this article. So of course I had to get the watch off the shelf and try popping it out. It does not. So I actually emailed Gabe at Barrow Jewelers to see what he thought, to see if maybe my watch does do this, but it's just stuck because it's old and hasn't been ever popped out maybe. I haven't heard back from him, but that's fine. I'm just someone emailing him and I'm sure he's busy. But next time I send him something for servicing, I'll have to ask him again, because if this watch does do that, yeah, that would be cool. The next article comes from A Blog to Watch, and this was a write-up of a Moels watch. Moels watch? Brand names. But this is a pretty cool looking watch. I like the shape of that bezel and the shape of the case. That bracelet looks amazing. The hue of the blue on the dial looks nice. I love those crazy markers around the edge of the dial. And it's a segmented dial with lines that radiate out from the center. The hands are hollowed and very cool looking. Yeah, pretty much everything about this watch looks pretty good. And it's fairly affordable, especially compared to most of the watches that I find out there in the news. This one's actually attainable. The case size on it is 39 millimeters. The lug-to-lug is 46.5 millimeters. The case height is 12.25 millimeters. The movement is an SW200-1B. And these watches retail for about $1,000. Alright, the last watch on my list also comes to us from A Blog to Watch. And this is a GShock, and it looks so cool. This watch actually has a metal case, metal bracelet, a cool looking dial. It doesn't even have any digital readouts on it. It's all analog. It has a date and a sub-dial at the 7 with the days of the week on it, as well as another indicator. It looks like a mode setting indicator or something. I should have noted what that was. But the link to the article's in the description below, so if you want to dig deeper, you can check that out. The pops of red on this watch look nice. I mean, this is just a great design. The case size on it is 44.6 millimeters. The case height is 13.6 millimeters. The crystal is actually sapphire. That's cool. And the case is titanium, so this isn't going to be a super heavy beast, especially at the GShock size. It has 200 meters of water resistance. However, this watch is nearly $5,000. A $5,000 GShock. That is absolutely crazy. It would be cool if they offered more affordable pieces, maybe with just steel cases. That way the luxury GShock fans out there can purchase this one, and the rest of us could get the one with the stainless steel case. But it does look pretty cool. So there you have it, you are now caught up on the news. Thanks for watching.